Hello.
Hello.
Hello, James.
Hello, Alasdair.
I nearly said hello, Alasdair, because I'm left on you on the right, and I said hello, Alasdair, and hello, James. But that's wrong.
No, that is wrong. I remain James.
Good for you. Good for you, actually, James. In these crazy topsy-turvy times, good for you.
And hello to the law folk, of course.
Hello there, law folk.
In the chat.
We can see some people jumping into the chat, hopping about.
Chatting.
Yeah, chatting. Just chatting.
Just chatting away.
So it's been a while since we've done a live stream, and I have forgotten how they work. So if this is working at all, I mean, a big pat on the back for you and me there, James.
Yeah, well, mostly you.
Well, yeah.
To be honest, I've done the same as ever, which is run a cable through a cat flap.
Is that part of the live stream, or is it just for luck?
It's now unrelated.
So, we're getting some compliments about being on time. Yeah, we were on time.
Oh, so we're making an error by being on time.
Well,
that's a good point.
It's now occurring to me that there's a significant lag. So we started on time. No, you and me, we're, as always, we've got the hot rhythms of a jazz quartet, but in two men, which is very impressive.
A jazz duet?
A jazz duet. But because there's a lag between us and the viewers, that means that even though we started this at 8:30, they're not going to see it until several minutes after 8:30, which is, for me, it's making me realise why we have been criticised for tardiness every single time we've gone live. Because I have consistently been going live at 8:30 for me. For me, James. No, 8:30 for you. But also for you, but not for them.
Is it a different time zone out here in the sticks?
In the country where you live?
Yes,
I wouldn't know. We don't have country time here in London, James. We only have proper, official, metropolitan time, which is...
Well, you got two times, but we're not going to get into that.
That is true, yes. We've got the main one, and then a second fun one for summer.
It is also summer. Did you have a good weekend?
It has been blazingly hot. I think.
Yes.
I've been indoors behind a curtain for almost the entire time.
I would have expected just as much. Friday afternoon, I started warming up my dad larynx. I did a few sniffs, and I was more than ready to go out into the garden and go, someone's having a barbecue. Could do it at the drop of a hat. I was more than ready. Yep.
Did you wash a car? Did you do any other dad stuff? Mow a lawn?
I saw someone washing a car, and I bit my tongue so as not to say, "You can do mine next."
Oh, well done, James. Well done for, first of all, thinking of that old chestnut, but also for resisting it.
I went walking past some kids playing football, and they dribbled too close to me with the ball. I took the ball off and kicked it back to them, going, "Only kidding, lads. You'll make Wembley yet."
You pretended to steal children. Is that standard fun? I never really played street football.
I'm getting into Biff territory now. Biff from Back to the Future territory.
Yeah. Well, you are a jock.
Yeah, I am. Am I? Wait a minute.
Yeah. We're both jocks. We're like
we're big jocks.
We're halfway between jocks and a jazz quartet. A jock quartet, if you will.
A jazz jock quartet.
The word jazz strap has popped into my head, and I don't think you can say that on a live stream.
No. So top half, we're like bow tie and that that sort of pink shirt.
Yeah,
Pink and white striped shirt.
Maybe half of a zoot suit, yes.
And the bottom half is just shorts and long socks.
Yeah, absolutely. And boots, those sort of those gardening boots that sports people wear with the little spikes in them to make the lawn breathe.
Oh, I'm sorry to break it to you. That's not what they're doing.
What? They're not aerating the soil.
They're not aerating fields.
They're not creating little doors for a worm to pick out.
Oh no, they're playing a game of sport. The sport is the main focus of it, not the lawn tending.
This is blowing my mind.
Mm.
Well, I can now see that the live stream is exactly 4 minutes behind us, which means we started 4 minutes late, according to them. According to the mainstream commenters, we started 4 minutes late. So jazz quartets are just appearing in the chat now for the first time.
I'm getting people referencing Jocks quartets.
Hold on, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
be able to see the future.
No, maybe they just riffed ahead of us in exactly the same way.
It was that obvious. It was that obvious because we are that much of a bunch of jocks.
Yeah, we're all. That's the thing about this podcast. It's a podcast by jocks for jocks. So if you're listening and you're not a jock, we are gonna cram you into a locker.
I did make myself chuckle in the shower earlier when thinking about this show.
Classic jock behaviour.
Yes.
Having a moist shower chuckle.
I hadn't just whipped someone with a towel.
Oh, the acoustics on a chuckle in the shower with your deep bass baritone must be a delight, James.
It is. Well, it's quartet worthy.
Mm. He's a one-man quartet now. I've been subbed. I've been cut out.
Well, there's 4 walls.
Come on, Captain. Let me make the team. We don't need you, ABK. We've got Shakeshaft. He's a one-man quartet.
Well, he's a 2-portion man.
Wow, this is horrible for me to have been cut out of the podcast so early on. But carry on with your story about laughing in the shower.
Well, it's related to something that is going to come up. I was thinking about one of the scoring categories for this story that I'm going to tell. Mm-hmm. And I'm teeing it. I don't mind spoiling the joke now because it's a very oblique reference to the Fast and the Furious franchise. Mm. And I, for a second, thought, oh, that film, the new Fast and the Furious film has come out. I hope people don't think we've been sponsored by it to stealth mention it. And then I thought, there is no way that Vin Diesel himself.
He's always on the blower, saying, ABK, mention me on the pod. And I say,
come on.
I will not do it, Vincent Diesel. I say, have some respect for yourself.
Vincent, 4-star, 2-stroke diesel. No thanks. I think people are in time because Bethan called a Back to the Future reference pretty much as it came out.
Oh, that's good. So we're not quite as laggy as we thought. That's
But
good.
then again, that's just something that's very easy to predict.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I have, as I've mentioned, Alasdair, because I like to mention it. All my anecdotes at the moment begin with the words when I was in Japan. Yeah, I'm
You're
one of
those guys. You're one of those.
I'm one of those guys.
Before we hop into the story, do you want to do an intro of some kind? To welcome perhaps new.
Oh yeah.
Don't let me. I mean,
there may be some new people.
I understand, James, that your process is very jazz quartet, but you think of me as like a cigar chomping record label guy saying, "Come, kids, you gotta explain what it is at the start." Huh?
Yes. So from the top half, you're a jazz quartet manager chomping a cigar, and the bottom half,
a jock.
Again.
Also, I'm realizing I've only just watched Russian Roulette, and with my hair, when I try and do cigar chomping record studio guy, it's just Natasha Lyonne in Russian Roulette.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have I mentioned? I don't know if I've mentioned before on a live stream. It's quite difficult to invite I realised it was quite difficult to invite someone out for a cigarette in England because you have to flick them the V's.
Pretty edgy, actually. Both of us doing it. Yeah.
Outside now.
Outside, yeah. To Agincourt.
Nice reference.
I think it's not accurate.
It's
historically,
been disproved.
It's been discredited, which is the first time a discredited fact has been relayed on this podcast because we do proper research. Ooh. So do you want to introduce the podcast, because we're only 15 minutes in, so let's go.
19 for some people. Welcome to Loremen, a podcast about local legends and obscure curiosities from days of yore. I'm James Shakeshaft.
Whereas I am Alasdair Beckett-King.
Oh, nice whereas.
I thought I'd throw a whereas in.
No, that's good, because you were confused earlier. Mm-hmm. So I think it's good that you're cementing your position as being Alasdair.
I am Alasdair. I'm Alasdair Beckett-King. And wherefore have you been recently, James Shakeshaft?
Why have I been recently?
Whither come ye, James Shakeshaft?
Yes. I have been around the world, actually. I went to Japan.
Ooh,
and because
nice.
Because of certain geopolitical situations, the route is slightly altered from what it normally is. And so on the way there, we went sort of down to so basically, imagining a globe, we went over the stands. So we kind of came across Europe, down a bit for some reason, and across those sort of mountainousy bits, and then just popping off to Japan. And then on the way back, we came out of Japan, turned right.
Sorry, we came out of Japan and turned right. I think
came out of Japan,
you're going to have to hand in your
right.
dad card, because that is the worst direction anyone has ever given me. Come out of Japan and turn right.
Came out of Japan, turned right,
yeah.
Went over Alaska, into the Arctic Circle, down over Iceland,
yeah,
your Greenlands, your Scotlands, and then Stoke-on-Trent on the map there, and then we're back in London. So I've circumnavigated the globe.
Wow.
Screw you, Willy Fogg. Took me like
Phileas
2
Fogg.
days. Phileas Fogg, sorry, I'm talking about the... It took me 2 days and I had a 2-week holiday in the middle.
To be fair, he was a talking lion, so we're all dealing with different challenges, aren't we, James?
Yes. With his little friend, the cat, who had a little friend, the mouse. Mm-hmm. We never found out if the mouse had a little friend, did we? Did it stop there?
I feel like because it's past part 2, the sidekick, and then they gave him an even funnier sidekick. Yeah,
his sidekick had a sidekick, and did he have a little shrew?
Where does it end? A flea?
All the way down to just bacteria.
You can't have a bacterial sidekick.
They're not. They are.
Kids show.
They're not going to be doing backflips hilariously.
Nah.
That was, of course, a reference to Willy Fogg. A cartoon
80 days around the world to find
a pot of gold, and sitting where the rainbow's ending. Time,
Japanese...
we'll fight against the time.
Was it
I don't really listen to the lyrics.
I think it was.
I don't know. It was around the
Japanese
time.
Or Canadian Japanese.
It was around the time of your mysterious cities of golds and Ulysses,
which was clearly in French.
Where?
As listeners to this podcast
I don't
know
know if it was. It was definitely at the same time, but I don't know if it was part of the same stable of those. It was to my. I'm gonna shock here, Alasdair.
All right.
That A Mysterious Cities of Gold did not like them.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't like Mysterious Cities of Gold?
No.
James, he has an amulet that has the power of the sun. What is a condor?
I know they had the condor, but you're not going to see the condor every episode.
Well, it's very expensive to animate the condor, so you can
episodes you didn't see the condor.
James, we've segued into our parallel podcast, men remembering things so early on. We haven't even touched upon it. Men-membrances.
Yes.
Men-membrances. Quickly register that, Earl. Men-membrances.
Yep.
But I must. That's the sound of Earl being registered. I must drag you. Yeah, people are mentioning D'Artagnan. That's Dogtagnan. Sorry, that's what I was going to say. That was Spanish-Japanese.
Really? He looked like he didn't have any trousers on. I'm not sure I trusted that.
Have you ever seen a Spanish dog wearing trousers, James?
Good point.
I'm telling you, you haven't.
Have you ever seen me trust a Spanish dog?
That is true. You got me there. So while you were in Japan,
yes,
that distant and fascinating island on the other side of the globe, what happened?
Well, I did a little bit of research, did a little bit of field reporting. I found out some folk tales from an area I went to called Kumamoto,
Oh,
which
very
is
nice.
an area of Kyushu, which is the sort of the big island that's got your Fukuokas, your Nagasakis,
Yeah.
your Mount Asos, which is a big active volcano.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
A practicing volcano.
It is, and it is an angry mountain. They're like a mountain with an asbo. Volcanoes. They're causing trouble,
Oh,
and people have to keep an eye on them. Asbos don't still exist, do they?
no, asbos haven't been around for a while. But volcanoes very much still a present threat. Not so much in England. There aren't that many. I don't think there are any English volcanoes, are there? Edinburgh used to be a volcano. Of course, Edinburgh is in Scotland. Before we get letters.
Whoa, yeah, that was a good save.
But it used to be a volcano.
Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis?
Did that used to be a volcano?
I don't know.
I mean, this is now, we've segued from men talking about cartoons to men guessing about volcanoes.
Yes, men's speculations are other.
Yeah,
podcast.
men volcanic speculation. Sorry, men's speculations, volcano edition.
Yeah. Right. Colon.
That's the one.
Volcano.
But yeah, I did go up an actual volcano, and I've got a field report. That's coming up later. That's a nice little tease.
So well done. James, there are openings on Breakfast Telly now. I don't know if you're aware of this. So the slickness of that, consider this a sort of pitch for yourself.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Actually, yes. If any of the law folk do have positions of power to get me into daytime TV,
James,
here in here,
Mr. Monday Morning.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I'm laughing at how entertained we were by that, because there's absolutely no way that was interesting to anyone else.
No, and I mean, considering we've guessed about volcanoes, and we've talked about cartoons that basically only we remember. The most enjoyment we had was lining up fingers.
This is really off to a bad start. It's so warm in here.
Big time.
I'm very warm, James.
Yeah, I think we might be on the teetering on the edge of a fever episode.
Yeah, it feels feverish. A fever dream. We're on the fringes of a fever dream.
Well, let's bring it back down to earth with some folklore from Japan. A little chap. Well, yeah, no, he is a fella. A man called Hickey. No, I've started that badly.
Yeah.
I've started that badly. I've not said many of the letters that are in his name there.
Now, what we would do if in a normal podcast episode, is we'd edit this bit out. But the delight of the live stream is watching James realise as he's saying it that he's not pronouncing any of the letters.
I have kept to type what I did there is I said the beginning of the person's name and the end of the person's name and missed out the middle.
Classic. A classic Shakeshaft move to save time.
Yes. So this is a story. This is a story about Hikoichi, who is a figure from Japanese folklore. According to this lovely book, Folk Legends of Kumamoto, by Takumi Tsukamoto, there may have even been a real Hikoichi. About 200 years ago, they found a grave of a guy called Hikoichi, and they think that these stories may be attributed to him. This may be an actual
How many sort of
person.
folk legends people were really real? Robin Hood? Was he? He wasn't really real, was he?
I don't know if he was really real.
King Arthur? Aesop, who wrote Aesop's Fables, is a real person, right?
But he wasn't a... Did he
wasn't
feature in
legendary.
the things?
No, it was mostly talking animals. Yeah.
The Grimm Bros?
They were real.
The Grimm Bros?
Yep. Get the Grim Bros.
That is...
Like a goth version of Bros.
I think the Grimm Bros is probably Right Said Fred, to be honest.
Even saying those could get our channel demonetized. Even mentioning Right Said Fred.
Yeah. But yeah, so this gravestone has an inscription stating the grave of Hikoichi, popular hero. And that is in Yatsushiro City, which is in Kumamoto. Actually, I haven't fact-checked that. It is on Kyushu.
It is in Japan.
It is.
It is in Japan.
It is.
It
is a thing.
It's in Japan.
Fingers crossed. Don't check that. Yeah. Oh, Brother Jacundus, someone's popped in as a suggestion for someone who may have been real. Oh, good point.
Someone rather satirically says Jesus, mentioning, of course, the popular serial killer, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I keep trying not to say he's a serial killer. Apologies to Christian listeners.
Is turning people into stone the act of a serial killer?
Yes, it is, James.
Yes, it is. But is it killing people?
It is also killing
people.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because they're not alive. Right. But to Hikoichi. So, according to this book, the last day of the year was the day that you had to have paid all your debts of the year. So in the ye olden times, 200 years ago, in Japan, or at the very least in Kumamoto, the last day was the final day that you had to pay your debts.
When does the Japanese year end? Is it the same time as our year, or is it like the tax year? Like
definitely April? New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is a thing. I don't know if that has always tallied up with the old Greg or Ian calendar.
Sorry.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I mean, one of us could look it up, but I'm not going to.
No, not going to.
Someone will probably put it in the chat. And we can just drop it in later on. When is Japanese New Year? Please continue with the story while I wait for someone else to do the basic research that you failed to do.
Are you trying to humanize ChatGPT? I'm trying to put ChatGPT out of business.
Are you accusing our listeners of being just a large language model that says quas and the sea?
And stone be it.
Broadly plausible terms.
Yes. And I'm not sure that we aren't that, considering how they might have guessed all our things that we were going to say. Anyway.
I've totally forgotten about the stone be it as a catchphrase.
I saw it being mentioned in the Discord today, and
I'm glad it has a love for the term because I've completely forgotten it.
It's because of old blooming Jesus. Pesky Jesus.
Yeah.
He was like, stone be it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jesus.
Wouldn't have liked us because he didn't like jocks.
He didn't like jocks, did he?
No. So it was New Year's Eve. Hikoichi, he's got some debts. He's a little bit worried because it's New Year's Eve, and he's spent the year basically not getting money together. He likes what we're going to learn about Hikoichi. He likes a bit of drink. He likes a bit of a sake, and it's gotten to New Year's Eve and he's not saved any money. He's worried.
He's had too much sake, or sake as the rest of us would pronounce it.
Well, sake. Yeah. All syllables are about the same length in Japanese. That's a good way of acting like you know a bit about Japanese. So yeah, he goes to his wife. Well, no, his wife goes to him. Are you worried about something, Hikoichi? Because you're not eating, and you're biting your nails. Mm-hmm. You're worrying the tatami mats, everything. He's just sort of fiddling away with stuff. He doesn't look chill, and he's like, if I had some money, it would help because the debt collector's coming around, and I haven't saved any money. And she pulls out a little kitty with a bunch of coins in it. And he's like, what?
Now to be clear, we have had a dog with coins in it in the past on the podcast. When you say a little kitty with coins in it, how disgusting is this?
No, this is
not a living kitten piggy bank.
No, this is a small purse.
Good.
Good check, actually, Alasdair. Good catch.
Because it could have been.
He's like, where have you got all this money? Where's this money come from? And she says, well, what happened is whenever you sent me out for sake, I would pocket a little bit of the change because I thought it might come in handy one day. And he's like, that is brilliant. That is fantastic. He had enough money. He paid off his debt that New Year's. And that New Year's Eve, as he was drifting off to sleep, he thought to himself, so since my wife can save up this much money, in spite of my evening drink, if I stop drinking, we're going to have more money.
This guy's an economics genius.
He is. He's the quasi-Kwartang of his generation. He decides from that point, I'm going to give up drinking. So he doesn't drink all year long. He's still racked up a fair bit of debts because it comes round to New Year's Eve again.
Oh, come on.
And the debt collector's coming round. And his wife's like, why are you... Your nails? You're biting your nails again? You're worrying at the tatami mats? What's going on? And he's like, well, look, the debt collector's coming round, but I've given up sake, so you must have loads more money saved up in your kitty, right?
I got a bad feeling about this,
floor.
James.
You see the floor. She's like, no, because before, as I said, the kitty money came from the change from the sake. If I'm not buying sake, I'm not generating any change. I've not got any money.
It's just basic stuff. Just basic.
That is basic sake, kitty, fiscal propriety.
Yeah.
So he's like, right, okay, I do have a little bit of money. What I want you to do is go to the market and buy a bunch of sailfish guts. It does say specifically sailfish.
What is that? And guts?
It's a type of fish. It's a big fish.
Right, are they
Think it's
selling
that
the
big
guts
fish.
at the market? They're selling guts.
You get all the stuff, all the bits of the fish.
Do you? At the market, really?
Yeah. You get them ones with the big noses. You get the nose if you want. Just the nose, thanks.
See the nose.
Yeah. I don't know if you can eat
noses.
it. Don't know what you can do with it, but you can buy it. So she does that. She comes back. She obviously, first of all, she questions this. So she was, why do you need fish intestines so early in the morning? He says, don't ask so many questions. Just go and bite them. Just go and buy them. So she goes off, buys the fish guts, and she comes back, and he's like, brilliant. Now I can do my plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I've committed harikari.
Let's just go extremely...
harikiri.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that got very
Basically,
dark.
I'm going to pretend I've disemboweled myself. So when the debt collector comes round, he's not going to be able to get any money off me because I'm going to be all, guts hanging out. Disemboweled.
I wasn't expecting bowels to appear so soon in this story.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think this is it.
This is the first of many bowlings.
No, I think this is the only disembowelings.
Can I ask you a question about the concept of disemboweling? Because
yes,
it implies the existence of emboweling.
Yeah.
Which can't have been... Disemboweling seems like the concept of emboweling was established, and disemboweling is the opposite of it.
Yes.
But I can't think of how you could reasonably embowel anyone.
No. Unless that'll be eating?
No.
But eating offal?
That would be inboweling, maybe.
Then you've got tummy in your tummy.
That's bowelception you're talking about there.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, absolutely bowelception.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think these are the sort of ideas that we shouldn't be giving away for free.
Yeah, let's just quickly register a few websites and move on.
So he sort of lies half over in the bedroom with gets all the fish guts underneath his kimono, and
it's the premise of a Lenny Henry vehicle from the 90s.
Is it?
Yes.
Reggie Perrin?
I don't think... Was Lenny Henry in Reggie Perrin?
No, I don't think he was.
No.
No.
It was Leonard Rochester.
Leonard
I'm sure
Rossiter.
everybody mixes up Lenny Henry and Leonard Rossiter.
Lenny Henry, Lenny Rossiter.
Let's not split hairs.
No. And then the debt collector comes along, knocks on the door. Is Hikoichi home? And she's like, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Look at this.
Look at this from one angle.
Get a load of this.
For not too long.
Yeah, but
Stand
and from
exactly
a very
there and look at
specific
this.
angle.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't,
Oh, no! Don't open the curtains. The light level is how I like it for disemboweling.
yeah. So, and she's like, he was really worried about his debt. I think he's committed harakiri to apologise.
Someone in the chat is disputing whether it's seppuku rather than harakiri.
Well, the book says harakiri.
Take it over the book. That's what I say.
It may. This was written in '99. It may have been a slightly dodgy translation. Basically.
Could be.
Yeah. And the guy's obviously, oh God, sees all the guts hanging out. He goes, oh God, that's really sad. Okay, don't worry.
Quite an emotionally intelligent debt collector, this guy.
Oh God.
It's like, God. No, this is awful. I'm really sorry.
I'm genuinely quite upset. I didn't think he would take it this far. I tell you what, Mrs. Hikoichi, I'm scrubbing the debt. It's not like it's going to pass on to you. That's fine.
Very reasonable.
I tell you what, I'd like to actually give you some money as an obituary present, so you can. And she's like, no, don't. He's like, no, because you obviously haven't got any money for the funeral, so you're gonna need some money for the funeral. She's like, no, I couldn't.
Probably shouldn't.
At that point, she feels a bit of a nudge in her back, and Hikoichi's like, take the money.
With his fight, he's like in Shakespeare when he stirs just in time to deliver a piece of crucial information and then dies.
Yeah, yes. So she does take the money, and basically Hikoichi gets back into sake in a big way that New Year's Eve. And so the year passed again.
What?
And
Don't tell me that's not the end of the story.
There's a third scam or possible scamola. So they're worried that they might. Well, basically, they've not got any money. So they're like, well, let's have a decent party on New Year's Eve. Let's have a big old load of rice. And she's like, well, you can't even buy rice. And he's, well, hold on, Mrs. Hikoichi. I've got an idea. And he goes and he cuts down a big bamboo from the garden, and he makes what looks like a traditional rice scoop, or as he would have called it, a current rice scoop. But the very clever thing about this rice scoop is it doesn't have a back of the scoop. It's basically just a tube. And he goes to where the rice guys are coming in to the market, and they've got their big packs of rice, and he's like, oh, you come here, sell rice. Let me just have a little look at that rice. Let me check it's any good. Scoops up a bit, looks at it, goes, oh yeah, that's good rice. Pops sample. A bit back in.
Yeah.
He's filling his sleeves with rice.
Going into his sleeves, I knew it.
He's got two sleeves full of rice.
I've seen them in drawings, the long sleeves.
Yes.
The capacious sleeves.
Full of rice,
you
both
can get
of
a
them.
lot of rice, although it would be so hard to walk.
You just have to walk along like two hands afterwards.
Yeah. Hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Mobbed by pigeons.
With just big, like bulbous sleeves by that point, because they would have expanded.
You'd tie them around your wrist, and then you'd have to fight them off. This is actually quite a good idea because they could be used defensively, James.
You'd be like a rice Popeye.
Quickly register the website Rice Popeye.
Rice Popeye.
We just need to get the license for Popeye and the concept of rice.
Yep.
Then we're away.
And so they have a lovely rice party. But
I mean, the standard of party here is low.
They still need some money. So
yep, the finger thing.
He comes up with a very clever idea. He basically goes to go. Let me just get this in order. Right. Early in the morning on New Year's Eve, It says, as it says here, Hikuichi began to smash roof tiles with all his strength behind his house.
Mm-hmm. It seems.
Where do you think
I have
this
no
is
idea
going?
why he's doing that, but completely in character with everything I know about him.
And he fills some wooden boxes, and he gets his neighbour to write the word Goyokin on it, which means government funds, and he sticks that on the box.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes out to the rough part of town.
Wait, you're telling me this guy doesn't live in the rough part of town?
Evidently not. He goes
Okay.
to Matsubaba, which now, as it says in this book, this place was rumored to be haunted by robbers. So, sure enough, as he's going down there, a robber comes up to him.
A big box of government funds.
So Hikuichi's got his big box marked government funds, and he goes into the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh, Hikuichi.
And a robber comes up to him and says, "Wait, stop there a minute, mate." And Hikuichi's like, "Brilliant."
Brilliant. I mean, yes.
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course.
How may I help you, sir?
And he says, "Look, these government funds, I've got to get these across town. They've got to go from...
Got to get them to the government. Got to fund the government.
Got to go from Kumamoto to Kagoshima." And the robber's like, "Oh, that's a big journey. You seem pretty tired." He's like, "Yeah, mate." Hikuichi's like, I tell you what, I'm knackered, mate. Could really do with a hand." And the robber's like, "Well, why don't I carry them for you?"
This is such a nice guy.
He's like, "Oh, I
Can't believe
ask you
people
to
said this
do
area
that."
was haunted by robbers.
Yeah. Well, you're in luck, because I'm a friendly guy. I'm a friendly robber. I mean, guy.
So he just adjusts his little eye mask
Yeah.
and then helps him.
He rolls up the sleeves on his striped jumper.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "What, don't you trust me?" And he's like, "You know what? Yeah." Hikuichi says, "You know what? That was a bit rude of me. I trust you. If you can, I'll tell you what, whilst you hold these government funds for me, I'll carry those heavy swords of yours." And he grabs them, takes them off him. The robber's like, "Brilliant." Gets the funds. As soon as he's got his hands on them, he starts running away. And Hikuichi shouts, he does a very clever little thing, which I love to visualize. He starts shouting, "Oh, you're running really fast. Well done." But as he does it, he's sort of leaning backwards. He's like, "Oh, that's really good. You're going really fast." And they say, "Oh, wait a minute, stop." And Hikuichi's running backwards.
He's
so
running
the robber thinks
backwards
he's
to give
getting
the
away.
impression that the other guy is running faster.
Even faster than he thought he was.
Wow.
And then Hikuichi ends up with 2 prize swords, which he takes down the pawn shop, gets a load of cash. It's another classic New Year's party down at Hikuichi's.
I just wish he would plan ahead a little bit better instead of just doing it at the last minute and risking his life every single time.
It is the classic grift sort of paradox, isn't it? The amount of energy spent on these grifts is probably just have a
save a
real
little bit
job.
Of money.
Yeah.
Although the story
job.
the running scam part of it did remind me of when we did cross country running in PE. And actually, I don't know whether this is an amusing story or an example of bullying, so I'll say it and I'll let you in the chat decide. But I remember the PE teacher describing our teacher describing the optical illusion of the group of people running. And because I was running so much slower than everybody else, it gave the impression, if you followed the group, that I was running backwards.
Oh.
That is just
The PE
bullying,
teacher
though, isn't
said
it?
that.
But
Yeah.
it involved an optical illusion, which I liked. Because I enjoy optical illusions. Just a sad little
That is
story
a bit
there.
of that reminds me of when PE teacher called me out for having a cerise top.
What is a cerise top?
I think it's a colour. I think it's a kind of red, and we weren't allowed red.
Oh, why a gang colour, was it?
No, I think no, because we had to wear very strict gang colours, which was black or dark green.
Oh, right. So cerise, is it?
Cerise.
Is that what you said?
I think so. I don't know. It depends what he said.
Just say it again, and then we'll edit it back in.
A cerise top.
Cerise.
It was the guy. To be honest, it was the Shorts James What's the Story guy. We had an ongoing struggle.
What's the story?
Yeah, there was an ongoing battle between us. But Alasdair, that is not the main story I want to tell you about.
No?
I want to tell you about young Hikuichi. So this is back when
Like a
he used to
flashback.
live with his parents. This is now a flashback. So we've
Flashback
just
to
set
young
up.
flashback to young Hikuichi, a
That's
la
right.
young Indiana Jones, a la young Sheldon.
A la Rugrats.
What was Rugrats' young
I
version?
don't know,
The later version of the Rugrats where they were older.
yeah, the later series of
Yeah.
Rugrats. First series of Rugrats.
But the Rugrats really aged forwards in linear time in the conventional manner.
Yeah, that's true. It's like watching any program out of order.
Yeah. Young Sherlock Holmes, good answer. Young James Shakeshaft, yes, our own young folk hero.
Yes.
Previous episodes. Little Jimmy
I haven't
Shakes.
I haven't appeared on this as in my young self though, have I? I didn't. We haven't invented time travel
No, not yet.
yet.
Muppet Babies, yeah. So this is sort of Muppet Babies of Hikuichi.
Yes. So
Yes, people in the chat, I also hate young Sheldon, don't worry, carry on.
I hate all the Sheldons, no matter what the age. To be honest, not a fan of any of them.
Very
Personally.
big of you there, James.
They are the Willy Foggs of modern times
Yes.
for me.
Well, look, the thing that's inspiring about the Big Bang show, what's it called? The Big Bang Theory? What's good
Yes.
about it is that there's no jokes at all, and it's just men saying things that they remember from pop culture. And it's also a global hit. So if they can do it, James, gosh darn it, so can we. A completely jokeless nostalgia platform. That's what they've created for themselves. We can do it. We can go global. We could have young ABK and young Jimmy Shakes
There's a spin-off.
as a spin-off, yeah.
Oh,
If
wonderful.
this gets big enough, yeah.
Nice. Okay then. Well. Oh. Excuse me. I did a little bit of windy pops there. I think I was overexcited at the idea of a spin-off show.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. We will probably edit that out of the condensed version.
Would it be Law Kids? Law Boys?
Low boys? Yeah, maybe. Low lads.
Law Lads.
Bit more roughy tufty that way.
Yeah, I
Might
like
have a
that.
kickabout.
Because young lawmen, that's too many words.
Yeah.
Too many words and can easily be covered by law cubs. So this is young Hikuichi. He's like Indiana Jones, the bit where you see him get scared by snakes. Mm-hmm. This guy still likes sake. It's not really the same.
Okay, we're not going to find the origin story of why I like sake.
No, he just did. But he's a kid, and he doesn't work hard. He's not a kid. He's old enough to drink. He's young. He doesn't work hard, and he's got no money, but he still wants to enjoy some sweet, sweet sake.
This is a predicament I think many young men have found themselves in.
Well, he has a solution for this that I don't think many young men have thought of. He remembers that on a mountain near him lives a Tengu, which is a goblin demon with a red face, a long nose, and big black wings.
Right.
And now, Alasdair, when I was in Japan, I saw a mural of one of these Tengu when I was up a different mountain. And I took a little video of it. I wonder if we could
I think I
pop it
might
up for the
even
law
have
folk.
that queued up here. So
I think you're going to be surprised
It's very nicely drawn. Oh, there's his nose.
quite how long that nose is.
Oh,
That is longer than you thought, right?
that is extremely long, and he's winged.
And he has got the big black wings. Yeah, just one more time. I'm going to do the...
Incredible.
That's a big nose.
Yeah.
He remembered that there was one of those that lived on the nearby mountain, and he knew that there was a rumor that this Tengu had a kakure mino, which is an invisible straw raincoat.
Right.
And it's kind of like a cloak of
I guess
invisibility.
it would have to be a rumour, because how would you know?
How would you know?
How would you know?
Unless you is the dry cleaner.
Yeah, I suppose.
Potentially. Potentially you would know.
Oh, but then you could really fiddle the invoice on that, saying, like, I washed your invisible jacket and also just a massive pile of invisible pants.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Yes.
Look in the van, completely empty. There you go.
Yep. Give me the money. Give me some not broken tiles this time, thanks. I want actual cash. So what he realised was that if you've got this kakure mino, it makes the wearer invisible, and if he could wear that when he was down the pub, no one would see him.
Yeah.
Not sure.
How does that help? How does that help the situation?
First of all, he's got to get the invisible raincoat.
We'll just get the invisible cloak first,
and then we'll work on the
deal
later
with how
stuff.
that could be useful at all.
Yes.
Right.
And he was like, oh, what's a good way to trick him? I've got it. He goes up to a piece of bamboo. He cuts the bamboo up again. He's using the things around him for these scams.
Yeah, he's
and
like a protagonist in a point-and-click adventure game.
Exactly right. And he just cuts himself up.
Really annoying.
Yeah. Oh, that doesn't work. Unless you click on some bamboo. It's like, yes, that works for everything.
Knife with bamboo. I don't know how to use. All right, cut knife with bamboo. Oh, yeah, I'll do it now. That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
It should be obvious. So he gets a length of bamboo and he goes up the mountain. And he got up there and he heard a voice hitting a tree with a wooden sword and shouting, "Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo." But he couldn't see anyone. And he realised that's probably that
evidence
demon.
Of the invisible
with the
Parker.
Yeah, the invisible, yes. And he pretended to be unaware of its presence. And he stood on the rock and he held the bamboo tube up to his eye and he said, "Wow! Oh, I can see
the voice of Christopher Walken.
Wow! Wow! This telescope is magic. I can see things so far away. I can see the Lord having lunch in his castle. He's got fish and tempura.
Nice.
He's got another dish.
You accidentally pronounced tempura the way English people pronounce it there, James.
Yeah, tempura. Tempura.
Tempura.
And there's some soup. And some yams.
Is he scouse?
Soup.
Very scouse Christopher Walken here.
It's got some soup and some yams. It's good to win the Champions League. That's now sort of Chris Cantrell. I think Chris Cantrell is the midpoint between Christopher Walken and Scouse.
Can I tell you something? There's a quote from God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, the Kurt Vonnegut book, which does the rounds on the internet, because it's a good quote where he's sort of asked about his advice for newborn babies, and he says something like, "God damn it, babies, you've got to be kind." You know, his sort of advice for the way you should live your life. And so occasionally you'll see the quote from Kurt Vonnegut, "God damn it, babies, you've got to be kind." And for some reason, for the entirety of the past week, I've had that phrase, but in Chris Cantrell's voice, in my head. God damn it, babies! You've got to be kind!
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn it, babies! Because it's as if the babies are antagonising him. Like, God damn it, babies! Babies!
Gotta be kind.
You've got to be kind!
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, much like the law folk with us, we don't need Cantrell anymore. No. We're generating Cantrell.
Cantrell content.
Content? No. Right, okay. So he's basically saying he's got a magic telescope.
He's pretending it's a magic telescope. We know
Yes.
It's just a bamboo tube. That's an example of dramatic irony.
Yeah. And then he hears a voice say, "Hey, can you really see such things in faraway places?" And he said, "Yes, I can see the hunting sharks over in Amakusa."
Wow.
Gigantic shark struggling to escape. And he's and the Tengu's like, wow, let me have a go on it. And he's like, whoa, who's there? I can't see anyone here. Who's asked me specifically to use my wonderful magical telescope? Who's asking me?
Yep.
I can't see anyone.
I literally don't know if anyone's here.
Yes.
How am I supposed to know?
I can only hear. I cannot see. I can't stress this enough. I can't see anyone. And the Tengu says, "It's me." Since I'm wearing my magical, I've got this magical invisibility.
You've probably heard about my jacket.
Raincoat. Yeah, I'm wearing it at the minute.
Quite a famous jacket, actually.
Let me. You can't see me, but I'm definitely here.
Here.
Can I have a borrow on your magic telescope, please? Can I have a little
Give me a glimpse of the peeping tube now.
And Hikuichi, who is I should have realised earlier is definitely a Cantrell type figure, says, "However many times you may ask." He says, "However many times you may ask, I cannot lend it to someone who's invisible."
Obviously.
And so the Tengu takes off his coat and he pops into visual existence. He says, "Now, let me have a go." And he says, "Oh, you are that Tengu, but this magical special telescope is my treasure. I don't mind lending it to you, but what if I give it to you and you pop your magical invisibility generating raincoat back on? Mm-hmm. You're just going to disappear with my magic telescope. I'll be really upset."
Mm-hmm. That's clearly what the Tengu was planning.
Yeah, and the Tengu's like, "Oh, I really want to go on your telescope, though. Okay, I tell you what. You can borrow you hold on to my coat for safekeeping, and please let me have a go on your magic telescope. Please let me, Hikuichi." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "All right, but only for a few seconds." And he hands him the magic. Well, as they I guess they do a sort of pass over
when you're handing a hostage back.
Yeah, like when we're handing hostages back.
Yeah, there goes the hostage and then the money. And then,
like that.
Really quick.
Like that.
Because otherwise I'll just grab it back.
Yeah. And then, exactly. And I can't be trusted. I'm taking hostages.
Yeah. Extremely untrustworthy. And the other people on the other side, probably the government, extremely untrustworthy.
Yes.
So
yeah. Well, they can't.
Hard to know who's in the wrong in that situation.
They're negotiating with hostage takers. So.
That's pretty bad.
Not all clean. Anyway, he's like, "All right, okay, you can have a go." So the whoop, and he.
Can I make a prediction about what happens?
Yeah.
I think the Tengu gets the tube, looks through it, goes, "This is just a bamboo tube." Hikuichi says, "Sorry." I think he gives him the invisible coat back.
Oh, you're so
That's
close.
what I would do. That's what I would do.
You are so... You know what? You're so close.
It's like,
you're half
right. It was a prank. It was just a tube. Here's your coat back. Thank you for a lovely evening.
Absolutely not. That is not what happens.
So what happens?
The Tengu puts it up to his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working. Puts it up to his other eye.
Yeah, maybe it's the eye that was the problem.
He's probably using the wrong... This isn't...
No, doesn't seem to be working on either eye, though.
No. Turns it round, probably.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah. Looks
Nope,
down
it's
it.
just a tube at that end as well.
Hold on.
Something in this tube.
This is just a bamboo tube. Yeah, something in this tube. It's my lost dignity.
Yeah.
This isn't magic telescope. It's just a piece of bamboo. And he goes, "Where? Right. Hikuichi, where are... Oh. He's gone.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
He's popped on the old not there duds.
Yep.
The old invisible trench coat.
Yeah, ye oldie invisible trench coat. The old Kakuremino.
Kakuremino.
Yeah, and he's hot-tailed it straight down to the pub.
Wow. To answer the Magpie Rat in the chat's question, yes, I have also been picturing Pingu instead of Tengu all the way through.
Whoa.
Good point.
If of all the stories to picture something, well, we've showed you what Tengu is.
That's Tengu. There he is.
There's Tengu.
Imagine what a honky squawk he would make if Pingu had a nose this size. That's not practical.
That one.
How would he get in a lift?
That was obviously not wearing the invisible raincoat.
Of course. Otherwise, we would not be
We
able
could
to
have
see
seen
that
so
nose.
many portraits of them wearing invisible raincoats and just never known.
So, for the benefit of the listener, the Tengu has an extremely long nose, like a broomstick.
Yeah, it's too long.
It's too long. Not to judge, but it is too long. If he was wearing the invisible coat, would he all be invisible, or would you be able to see the nose peeking out the front?
I would.
'Cause you wouldn't want that.
No.
The
I
nose
don't know.
looks bad enough attached to a face, but on its own,
Just a nose on its own.
devilish.
It's very red as well. It looks like a chip shop sausage.
Yeah, you're absolutely look exactly like a chip shop sausage. A chip shop sausage.
Yes. Unbattered.
Of course, unbattered.
Unbattered, yeah, come on. We don't want to say to people the wrong visual images. So, he's down the pub. He is loving it. On his way, he passed by a fox, famously
I can't believe the story isn't over. Okay, carry
in
on.
Japan. Yoinked a whisker out of its face, and the fox is like, "What? Who did that?"
The fox didn't even. Oh, of course I forgot he was invisible. I thought he was just being cheeky.
And
The fox is like, my face.
my actual and Hikoichi's brilliant. I can even pull the wool over the eyes of a fox. This is how good this is. He gets down the pub, and he goes. Everyone's got like bottles of sake on their table, and he just took up one of them and poured himself a cup, and he had a lovely drink, and he found some sardines on someone's plate, and he nicks them, and he starts eating them. He's drinking from everyone's bottles, taking a gulp, and then one of the customers like, "Wait a minute, the sardines, they've just been turned into some sardine bones now," presumably with a little sardine head and a sardine tail on the end on his plate. And then they're, "Whoa, this sake bottle's floating around," and they are, the people are scared, confused.
They'd be perturbed, at least.
Hikoichi's loving it. And then the people are like,
Laughing
"Wait
at
a
his
minute.
invisible sleeve.
Wait a minute. Let's get a stick. Let's knock this flying sake bottle down." And Hikoichi realizes maybe he needs to be a little bit more subtle. But he's had a decent drink, so he goes home. His mum's out. He's a little bit tipsy. He takes off his kakuremino, the invisible jacket, and he looks around. He's like, "Oh, where can I do it?" And he's like, "All right, okay, I'll hide it at the bottom of this basket." And he pops it down in the bottom of this basket, puts the lid on it, goes to bed, has a lovely, lovely deep sleep. And then his mum comes home, and she sees that all her kimonos have been thrown out of the basket. And
The basket appears to be empty.
not happy. She is not happy. And she opens up the basket, and inside is this rotten old straw raincoat. So I think it's one of them things.
I thought it would be
I think
invisible.
you can see it when it's not on someone,
Oh,
because
I see.
otherwise
I see.
you would never know. You never know where you left it. I guess it would be on an invisible hanger. But anyway, she finds it. She's like, "This is disgusting. It's made out of straw. And these are my prized silk kimonos." She chucks it in the fire.
So it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
What did he get out of it? So, a little bit of sake and a few fish.
And Hikoichi is gutted when he wakes up. He is
And not for the first
he
time.
says, "Where's my
actually for the first time.
Yes, for the he's like, where's my magical coat?" He's like, "What magical coat? That dirty old thing. I chucked it in the fire." You kicking my kimono. He's like, "Why did you do that?" And he goes over to the fire, but the raincoat has been completely reduced to ash. And he's so upset, he like digs his hands into the ash. And as he brings his hands out, his fingers have disappeared.
Oh.
The ash has still got the magical powers
Of
the magical raincoat.
The magical rain pope.
The magical rain pope.
Unexpected appearance of that side character of the story.
So what he does, he gets naked and covers himself with ash.
Ah, Hikuichi, yeah.
And he's disappeared. He calls his mum. He says, "Mum, come in. Have a look at this." Mm-hmm. She comes in. "Where are you?"
Don't know why he had to get naked to do that. Just rub it into
Maybe he
your
didn't want to
clothes.
muck up his clothes. He just didn't want
Fair
to
enough.
get his clothes all dirty. But then, ironically, you wouldn't be able to tell that they were dirty.
Because they'd be invisible. It would
Because it would be
clearly
invisible
be
dirt.
preferable to rub the ashes. It would clearly be preferable to rub the ashes into some piece of clothing, and not your naked flesh. But it's easy for me to judge,
It is.
and I have. That's a
you
terrible
have.
idea.
So that night, he goes back to the pub, still invisible,
But naked.
still
this time.
naked. It's important to remember he's naked as well,
Yes, okay.
which is a bit peculiar. And he goes up to table in, and there's these two blokes in there. They're already a little bit tipsy, and he's careful to do it when people aren't looking. And he glug glug, has a little bit of sake, puts it back down.
I don't think this is a healthy approach to alcohol. You know, it's not. He's not drinking socially, is he?
No,
He's
absolutely
slathering
not.
himself with magic ashes and then drinking alone. That's not good.
He's ironic. He's with other people, but he's probably never felt more alone.
Oh no.
They're looking right through him. However, it's not all doom and gloom, because these two men, they start. Right, how come this sake's going down a bit quick? If you drinking the sake when I'm not looking, mate, and he's like, "No way, mate, you're drinking the sake when I'm not looking, mate," and he's like, "No way, mate, you're drinking the sake when I'm not looking." They start to have a fight, and this, unsurprisingly, amuses Hikuichi. He's laughing, but he realizes can't laugh out loud because he's going to get hurt. So he's chuckling away to himself. He's laughing so much he starts to cry,
Oh.
and the men, they sort of hear something. They stop their arguing and they look over, and they're like, "Oh no," as it says here, "Oh my, a ghost of eyeballs."
A ghost of eyeballs.
And he's like, "Yeah, you're right, there's just some eyeballs floating in the air."
Oh.
So obviously the tears have washed the ash from his eyes, and now he's just a pair of eyes. And so they're like, "Well, let's." The two drunk men are like, "Ghost of eyeballs, we can make money off this. Let's catch those eyeballs, and we'll be able to make a fortune." So they chase
It's not
after the
clear
eyeballs.
how. It's not clear what the market for the.
You wouldn't pay money
Invisible.
to go see a pair of ghost eyeballs?
Well, oh, yes, you've got me. I would. I would.
Yeah.
But
You
would
could, at the very
Joe
least.
Public? I don't know.
Let's hold on. I'm just gonna register website ghostof-eyeballs.com. Yeah. So they
The
chase
chat is
after
very
him.
disturbed about the fact that he had rubbed the ash right into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
crevices
yeah.
of his eyes, which is
Yeah.
horrible to imagine.
But if you want to get free booze,
And considering he had to rub it into all of his crevices, I hope he started at the top and moved down.
yeah, because you can't wash your hands halfway
There'll be
through.
no hands washing.
No. So he ran and ran, and he was like, "Whoa, that was close." But he was running. It was summer. He was sweating, and little by little, Hikuichi became completely visible and stood stark naked among the bushes. And as the story finishes here, consequently, Hikuichi stayed in the grove until dark. It was rumoured that Hikuichi suffered a terrible cold accompanied by bouts of sneezing for a few days after that. The end.
Oh, so justice was done. He got a mild cold.
He got a
He
bit
got
of a cold.
mild cold. Well, that be a lesson to you, old Hikuichi.
Crime doesn't pay.
Young Hikuichi. Extremely low-level crime doesn't pay.
For a bit. Well, it does for a bit.
It's fine.
then-
It's a good laugh for a while.
Yeah.
I'm just pleased. I really thought a wee was moving towards that story, and I'm really pleased that there was no wee involved.
Oh, because he'd been drinking the sake. He
He was drinking so much sake. He was in the nip. Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's a ghost of a urethra."
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'd be in a like if the sort of nosy bonk guy, if his nose was visible, we'd be in the willy based version of that scenario,
Oh, of course.
which would
Yes.
be nightmarish. But
That
also
is a
people
nightmarish.
people would pay to see that, James.
That's true.
That's where
That-
the money is.
But that is a nightmarish version of Pingu.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Or pay to not see it, really. Which with someone invisible. That's what you're really paying for, the invisible parts, aren't you?
Is this the jazz thing again? We can. It's about the
Yes,
bits they're
it's
not
the
seeing.
organs you can't see.
Well, yes, Alasdair. That was my tale.
And a wonderful tale it was. Thank you, James.
Before we score it, should we have a little interlude, a little field report?
Should we do a little field report? So, are we going to ask the chat to come up with some categories after the field
Yes,
report?
we could do with a category, please.
Okay, so that's your job, people in the chat, to come up with categories, and I'm gonna mosey on over to the field report now. All right.
I've come to Mount Aso, which is an active volcano in Kyushu in Japan, and well, I mean, stunning. What a view. At least they got a Costa. You can see there's multiple peaks on Mount Aso, one of which is Neko Peak, which is where the story comes from, about a guy who went to a hot springs there, really wanted dinner and a bath, and he just found this sort of random hotel, went in, and one of the waitresses was like, I know you, and you need to not stay here. And she was like, I know you because I used to be your cat. And this is the place where cats become people, and people become cats. You need to leave right now. And he was like, good story. But I do really want to have a bath. Then got chased out. Someone flicked water on him on his shins. And when he got home, his shins were covered in cat hair. That cloud from earlier, now I'm in it. We're on a blue light warning, which is probably okay. Seems fine. Look at the view! These are safety huts where you can shelter from volcanic eruptions or rain. It seems like in a minute. No, you can't. Oh, hello. Oh, that's an actual bit of volcano. There, in there.
Incredible scenes. In the imagination, in the theatre of the mind, conjured by your words there, James.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if you can notice, I've dressed for the weather I wanted rather than weather I had. Unfortunately, some lovely stuff from the category for comments. I think we might have a winner.
Have we've already got a standout winner.
I think I might. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is the same category that I'd come up with a title for. That I was worried that Vin Diesel would take it as an encroachment on his IP.
That explains the call forward that you did at the start of the broadcast. The broadcast?
Yes, yeah.
Who do you think I am? John Logie Baird?
Oh,
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
Don't know much about him, to be honest. Scottish, right?
Yep. So,
Nothing to do with Yogi Bear.
Nothing to do with Yogi Bear.
Just,
he did like picnics, but it's just a coincidence.
He was constantly being chased by park rangers.
Yeah, he had an antagonistic,
for a different reason.
Love-hate relationship with a park ranger, but that's got nothing to do with Yogi Bear.
So yeah, we've got some good ones. I really do like. We've got some lovely ones. We've got some sake-based puns, wacky sake, wanting sake. The category of crevices. Sake it to me.
That's very good.
That's nice. Oh, Sheldons. A category of Sheldons. I'm gonna get 2 at the most, and that'd be a bit of 2.
Very low scoring 2, I think that.
Scam Guyver, which is nice because it shows a sort of homemade element. But the one that I think is the winner is Scamboo.
I don't understand
Scamboo.
Like what?
Because it's a scam and it's bamboo. And they
Oh,
portmanteaued that.
okay, right. I'm ready. I'm ready
into
to enjoy
Scamboo.
that. When that comes up in the official part of the score, I'm going to sound like I understood that all along.
Excellent. Just for the completist, the one that I thought of, admittedly in the shower, was
Having a little chuckle.
the Fast and the Furious Kumamoto Grift.
That's excellent. That's
just
really good.
because it's got sort of a Japanese theme and grift. It's got the word grift in it.
Fantastic.
But I prefer Scamboo. But I still need to think of my own one. I still need to think of my own category. So we do still need another category.
Those seem quite different. Could you not do both of those categories?
Scamboo and Tokyo Grift. I mean Kumamoto Grift.
Or I don't know. It's very hot in here, James.
It is very hot in here.
And I understand about a third of the words you're saying at the moment. Scamboo, Kumamoto Grift.
Let me. Okay.
I'm going to have to hurry you on to the next section of the podcast.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
You saying okay for the last minute.
Right then. So, Alasdair, you ready to score me then?
I would love to score this
Wonderful.
tale of Japanese trickster.
A human trickster, not a trickster spirit.
A human, not a trickster spirit. A human.
Ever so human.
An historical figure.
If not, maybe a little bit too human.
Yeah, we've all been there. Very
So,
relatable.
first category is names.
Oh, well, I mean, I would be impugning the entire nation of Japan if I complained about the names in this story. I can't remember any of them because I don't speak Japanese and they're unfamiliar to me.
There was Hikoichi, there was Tengu, Kumamoto.
Tengu, we love Tengu because it sounds a bit like Pingu.
Tengu sounds like Pingu, which is great.
Yep. But it's like 10 Pingus.
Yeah.
What's the Japanese word for fox?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm
sure I know it. Let's assume it's Mozilla or something. Kitsune, yes, Kitsune.
Kitsune. Yes.
Thank you, people in the chat.
Thanks, Saturn
It's about to
W.
lay a shortening. That's a great name, Kitsune. Everyone likes that.
Everyone loves a Kitsune. But it's not, I mean, they're not, I would say they're not funny. They're just nice.
No, it would be very offensive for us to laugh at Japanese names.
Wouldn't it?
We wouldn't do that. It is
Just
a little bit funny when
different.
you try and say it correctly and you do it in a slightly Japanese way. That's kind of funny, but I feel like we're laughing at you rather than at the nation of Japan.
You're PE teacher in me.
Yeah. James, what's the story? James,
Shorts.
What's the French?
Shorts,
James, what's the Japanese word for fox?
Kitsune.
Kitsune. And they'd be like, do you mean kitsune?
Kitsune. Do you mean sushi? No. No, I don't.
Sake. All right, I think it is a 2 out of 5 for names. And you talked me down from a 3 by pointing out that they weren't funny. So,
I think
really
that's
very much
fair enough. That is fair enough. Okay, then.
What's
Category
Japanese for
2?
number 2?
Ni.
Ni.
Ich-ni-san. So ich-ni-san, she, or sometimes yon, because she is the word for death. So, fun fact.
Yep.
Some hotels don't have a 4th floor because it's an unlucky number.
Because they're only 3 stories high.
Yeah, they're really short.
Not all hotels are big.
Ich-ni-san, she, go.
Go.
Yes.
Wonderful.
For 5. So just
you
got all the way.
You have done some research. So, well, well done. Fair play.
Okay,
Although quite a lot of people in the chat also knew the answer. So.
Yeah. Well, they've got the internet.
Got the old chick chick chick.
They've got the old chick. All I've got up is logger website.com. That's good. There's another one.
Loggerwebsite.com.
Mm-hmm.
Is the one-stop website for logging websites.
.com.
Is there a
right
website
then.
for browsing the internet like Google? But I want a website that does Google inside the website. Is that a website?
Are you doing websiteception?
I think so. What I want is I
Webception.
want an iframe of Google inside another website.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm very warm, and please
And you're
continue.
giving away
I'm
gold
giving
for
away
free.
solid gold, which is my idea of google.com.com. It's a website
Google.google.com.
that is just Google
Com.
inside an iframe, but with different borders that you can do your own thing. The Google Doodle can be you.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, my second category,
Second
supernatural.
category, supernatural. Well, obviously the story of the Tengu is big time supernatural.
I mean, have you seen that nose?
Mm. His latter day scams in later life are very unsupernatural.
Yeah, they're gritty, realistic.
But I don't know about that. They're very sort of the bicycle thieves. So yes, I suppose, yeah. They're a little bit Paper Moon. So also a film about scams.
Ah.
And all right. I think though that they were quite evenly weighted in the episode, but I think that the supernaturality of a red-faced demon with a giant nose and an invisible coat
Yeah.
it should be given extra weight. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's a 4 out of 5 for supernatural because that final closing story was so supernatural.
Ever so.
I
And
forget
think
all about
about-
the rubbish putting it in a box, putting tiles in a box. Why did you need to put anything in the box? Oh, because the guy would have known from the weight. Fair enough.
Yes.
Yep. Nope. He sorted through.
It probably blew all the money made on swords on tiles, though, ultimately. But we'll come to that on the next category, which is Scamboo.
Scamboo. Do you want to explain that category title?
Yes. Scam,
Yep.
bamboo.
And together they are
Scamboo.
Scamboo. Yes.
Scamboo, baby.
Scamboo. So he did 2 scams involving
There were 2
bamboo.
major bamboo-based scams.
Right.
And I think it's just the idea of scammage
Yeah.
in general.
So it's not specifically just bamboo. It's also well, every one of the stories was a scam. And how many were there?
Loads.
Loads. Easily loads.
Top of my head, I'd say there were loads.
Yep. Roughly loads. What's the Japanese for loads?
I only know I know what a little is because I know how to say I can speak a little Japanese,
Right.
and
So
I've
you
never
don't know the
had
Japanese
cause to
for I can
say
speak all Japanese.
loads of
speak.
I can speak loads of Japanese.
Well, all right. In that case, my hands are tied. I have no choice but to give you 5 out of 5 for Scamboo because the potentially infinite number of scams because neither of us can remember anything that's happened before this moment.
And also I just sort of realised that the Hikoichi that we met at the start of the story,
Yeah.
who was doing I think the reason he thought he could do the fish gut fake out was because he'd already lived through a life where he'd like been interacting with demons and getting invisibility cloaks, like just doing a bit of a fish gut.
That's nothing.
A bit of fun with fish guts is nothing, yeah.
Yeah, the origin story of Hikoichi was pretty. Explains
suppose
a
it's
lot
like-
about the older man. Yes.
It's like you're sort of doing, it's like the prequel to Taxi Driver being Never Ending Story.
Yeah.
Like Travis Bickle is the kid out of Never Ending Story.
And it was the horse going into the swamp that's the reason he's like that.
Oh, you mean the dog dragon? Oh no.
No,
Let's not get into that.
It's not a dog. The chat is I think I don't want to use the word furious, but the chat is very unhappy about Scamboo having made it rather than bamboozled.
Oh,
Huge support for bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
But it's too late
that's
now.
good.
I have to take your first choice of category. And I've already given you 5 points for it.
And yeah, then you would have given me 5 points for Bamboozled.
I
as
would.
well,
I
I'm
would definitely have
presuming.
given you 5 points with bamboozled. I know myself, and I would have.
Yes.
God damn it, babies! Got to be kind.
Get him kind.
You've got to be kind.
Well, I think on that one, that my final category is
What is your final category?
it's great impressions.
All right.
Because not only, I mean, we're slightly Ouroboros-ing the scam ones because Hikoichi did some great impressions as part of his scams.
He did an impression of a man who had committed seppuku or harakiri.
Yeah,
I think
who
both.
had fish guts for guts.
Yeah. Go, wow, this guy who smells of fish is dead. This guy who really stinks is dead.
Oh, actually, I want to change my final category.
Okay. It's unorthodox, but I'm going to allow it.
I'm going to change my final category. My final category,
Final category.
embowelment.
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 That's a bold
Because
final move. Go ahead, please explain.
what was Hikoichi after, apart from embowelling himself? He wanted to get stuff
Some
in
sake.
his
He was trying to
guts.
get sake. Right, yes, he wanted to embowel
was
that
getting
sake.
rice.
He loved
He
rice.
was
He liked
Getting
sake.
sake, which is a sort of form of fermented rice.
It's still rice, yeah. It is
And
basically just rice.
It's basically rice beer. And yeah, that's
So that's two examples.
I just like the name embowelment.
Yeah, no,
really.
really, really good. Yeah, yeah. And I suppose he emboweled himself when he put all the fish guts around his.
Yeah, he double emboweled.
He wasn't.
Sort of had,
he wasn't disemboweled. If anything, the bowels were. He had supernumerary bowels.
yeah,
Surplus bowelage.
yeah, too many bowels.
Extra bowels.
Mm.
Too many bowels.
Too many bowels.
Okay, I'm going to say it's a 3 out of 5 for embowelment because you really did pick it on the fly.
Yeah.
And I don't think you really thought it through.
No, don't think I did.
become
It was that
dark
bit
outside.
where I looked up to the sky and said, that was around when I thought of it.
Yep.
Weirdly.
No, that's good. That's good. It's become nighttime, James. The sun was out when we started, and now the
it's
street behind me is it's gritty and lit with the sodium yellow of a London street lamp. Atmospheric.
But it's warm out though.
Oh,
Still warm out.
Oh, it's piping hot.
What you want to do is get a fan.
It's as hot as food must be before you eat it, if you purchase it in a shop.
Nice.
Piping.
What you want to do is get a fan and point it at your window.
So you want to be blowing the air out the window.
Yeah.
But James won't.
Don't know why.
Will that create a vacuum? Will the room?
Yeah,
Well,
and then
no
you'll
air
be more
left in
concerned
it.
about that
Oh, good.
than the heat.
A displacement activity. Great. James, that was a terrific story. That was a really beautiful story. Thank you to the guy who wrote it in that book. What's his name?
Yeah. It is The Folk Legends of Kumamoto by Takumi Tsukamoto.
That's a
It's
absolutely
it dates from
cracking
the late
story.
90s.
From the late, no, all the way back to the late 1990s.
The late 90s, 1998.
Cast your mind back, children, to the. It was
It's
the
got
1990s.
lovely woodcuts. Woodcuts throughout. Let me find. There we go. There's a beautiful woodcut there.
Oh, the
That's,
guy trying the telescope.
Yeah. That's the tango. In this picture,
Doesn't have a big nose or wings.
His nose is not big enough, to my mind.
Nah, rubbish.
Not big enough at all. Yeah.
Wow, there's some people in the chat who are younger than this book. I can't believe
What?
anybody who was born anybody who was born after the 90s. Some people who were born after the 90s are listening to our podcast, James. What the heck is going on? I was about to
What?
swear, but I modified my language because there are children in the chat.
What?
What the flip?
Has Love Island finished already?
For whom are we second choice to Love Island?
That's a good point. It's the Fast and the Furious crowd.
Yeah, that's it.
Someone had a band in the 90s called Woodcuts Throughout.
We're woodcuts throughout, and this is rock music. What were they called, that band who annoyed everyone several weeks ago? What were they called? They said this is the Royal Blood. That's what they're called. Royal Blood.
Royal Blood.
They were
Royal
posh
Blood.
rockers. Yeah.
He was very upset that the Radio 1 roadshow that he was playing at was a Radio 1
He
roadshow.
seemed very upset that it was outdoors. He didn't seem happy about that. Because he seemed to be saying, cheer. And then they cheered, and he was like, you didn't cheer. I'm furious. But
I can't
they did
really
cheer,
hear you.
'cause I think it's just the acoustics of being outdoors.
The wind has whipped it away.
Yeah. You can't rage against the wind, royal blood.
No. That's the band is not called that.
Rage Against the
Against
Wind.
the Wind. Yeah.
A much more sort of broadly anti-capitalist folk version of Rage Against the Machine.
It's definitely folk.
Yeah.
Definitely folk.
Rage Against the Wind, yeah. 100%.
Well.
Sorry.
Speaking of
we both
raging
welled
against
at
a
the same
wind
time.
machine, we better get them fans back on.
We better get all the lights switched off and the wind back into the space. I'm so tired. I think I might be dying, James. It's
But
so warm
Alasdair,
here.
before you die,
Before you die,
there's
I die.
one thing we gotta say.
What's that?
What if people wanted to see you on stage in London this
in an
weekend?
air-conditioned venue at the Leicester Square
Is it
Theatre.
air-conned?
I don't know, actually. I just thought I
It
would say
better
that.
be.
And by the time they bought the tickets, it'll be too late. I think it's air-conditioned. I'm performing at the Leicester Square Theatre, which is not in Leicester. It's in the Leicester Square, which is like Times Square.
It's not
but
even
Square
in
but
Leicester
smaller.
Square, really. It's actually off the side
Slightly
of it.
off next to the Prince Charles Cinema, which
Next
hasn't
to the
changed its
wonderful
name.
Prince Charles Cinema.
They're still called the Prince Charles Cinema. They haven't
I
upgraded.
hadn't even realised that they should have done that.
I am performing the Interdimensional ABK, my tour show, the last 2 dates of my tour. And the Saturday is sold the flip out. And the
Classic
Sunday
Alasdair.
is not sold out. There are many tickets available. Like more tickets than I'm realistically going to sell before the show happens. So if you fancy coming along on the Sunday, please do.
I'm looking to come on the Sunday. I'm going to play because it's Father's Day. I'm going to play my Father's Day card.
Oh, very nice.
I'm going to go to the theatre. Like a dad.
Theatre.
Like a dad
Just
does.
a dad theatre, yes.
Yes.
Bring me my slippers and pipe. Let me check the theatrical listings for today, for I am a dad. And I wish to go to the theatre.
Leicester Square Theatre. So I think I might come along.
James might be there.
See you. Yeah.
If
Imagine
I'm not
that.
enough of attraction on my own.
That'll be annoying.
I've signed two copies of Ghosts Over Britain so far. One of them on your
Really?
behalf, James. Yeah. People on the
Ghosts
tour have been
Over
bringing...
Britain.
I think Ghosts of Warwickshire, I think, as well. A lot of books I didn't write.
With
a copy of
is that
Lore
the
of the
one
Land with the skeleton.
Oh, I felt ever so guilty signing a Law of the
You
Land.
signed Lore, yeah. But people don't seem to mind. If anything,
No.
we're adding value.
What if?
I'll sign any book. So come to the show and bring any book. The complete works
Whoa.
of Shakespeare.
Whoa.
Katie
There
Price's
are-
biography. She's done 7.
Oh,
Any.
I will sign my take, the Gary Barlow autobiography.
Yeah, James will
definitely.
sign Gary Barlow's autobiography.
The first one,
But
not
I
the
will-
second one. The
I
first
will
one.
only sign Robbie's biography. I hate Gary Barlow. Team Robbie. I'm not Team Robbie to the extent that I can remember his surname, but I am broadly speaking Team Robbie. He believes in UFOs, whereas Gary Barlow dodged taxes. So
Yeah. Gary. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm in Team Robbie Williams. Yeah.
Williams. That's his name.
Please sign my Chuck Tingle novels.
Do you know who Chuck Tingle is, James?
No.
I can't possibly explain on the stream.
Okay.
You're going to have to Google
Do I
that.
want to Google it?
You don't
Do I want to?
You don't necessarily want to Google it.
Okay. What an end then. No one Google that.
Everybody not
Damn
find out
you.
what that is, and those of us who already know, just keep...
Keep stum.
Don't say anything.
But thank you very much for joining us, Law
Thank you
folk.
so much. It's been so long since we've done a live stream. It's been great to get back into it, and nothing major seems to have gone wrong. So that's marvellous. Apparently, you can
far.
like a live stream as it's going on, and nobody has been doing that. So
Oh, yeah.
we should have been asking. I didn't know that you could. So it's too late
Oh,
now.
wait a minute. Can
But
I say
am
it?
upset.
Smash that like button. Smash that like
it.
button.
Punch that subscribe.
say it right at
Mangle
the
that
end.
subscribe button.
This is the sort of stuff you say at the end after you've already
Yeah.
sort of said goodbye to
Yeah,
people,
you do,
isn't
you
it?
do.
Yeah,
You say
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end
yeah.
after you already said
Do you
goodbye.
say join the Patreon?
Yeah,
if you haven't already?
wound that
Say
Patreon.
Mm.
Oh, there we go. Hold on. No, forget it. We don't. We can't.
I can't remember what hand's mine. I can't remember how to point.
Hold on.
Oh! Thank you, Saturn W. Saturn just
Wow,
gave us
someone
gave us
some money.
cash money.
Someone's gift for this. Was it the hand thing?
Thank you.
Can we make it happen again by just doing more hand business?
I can't remember which hand's mine. Oh yeah, there we go. That hand. Yep. It goes from a right to a left.
Okay, there we go.
It's like that.
There we go.
Ugh.
Yeah. Whoa. It's
Oh, that was-
unheimlich.
yeah. Yes. Right then. Actually, we better
Yeah,
go now.
we're going to go now. This should
It's
have ended a good
bedtime,
15
everyone.
minutes ago. It's so. It was nice hanging out with you, James. And it was
Yeah,
lovely
nice
hanging
to
out
see you
with the chat.
too.
Bye bye.
Good day, everyone.
Gonna end the
Bye-bye.
stream.